ghost. The Fat Controller's plans were soon put into action. First, Toby helped the workmen to replace the old track from Farquhar to Alstead. Then they started restoring the castle and rebuilding the town. Every day during the project, Toby or Percy would bring the workmen to the town and bring building supplies for them. Even quarry workers have been helping to restore the town. They've managed to buy the homes in the town dirt cheap, and were restoring them into homes for them and their families. One night, Toby picked up the workmen to take them home. They stayed late to finish the building that would become Alstead's town hall. Toby was pleased with the hard work everybody had done, but he was still worried. "I'm sure this place is haunted," he said to himself. As the workmen climbed inside Henrietta, Toby suddenly heard something. "Oranges and lemons," said the bells of St. Clement. "You owe me 5 farthings," said the bells of St. Martin's. As the scene continued, Toby, his crew and the workmen were surprised. "What was that?" Toby's driver asked. "I don't know," replied Toby, "and I don't want to know either." And with that, Toby left the town. He didn't stop until he arrived back at Farquhar. Next morning, Toby and the workmen told the Fat Controller what they heard. "It was a voice singing in the wind," said the workman. "I knew that place was haunted," added Toby. "Rubbish," said Thomas. "There's no haunted towns on Sodor." "I'm with Thomas," said the Fat Controller. "There's no ghosts here." "It's not rubbish," said the foreman. "We all heard it. We won't stay in that town after dark again." The Fat Controller tried to talk sense into them, but they wouldn't listen. Thomas spoke seriously to Toby. "I'm surprised at you, Toby. It's our character for you to be scared of a ghost story." "You'd be scared too in that town," Toby replied crossly. "There's a ghost there, you mark my words." "Balderdash," said Thomas. He didn't believe the ghost story one bit. That night, Percy took some trucks to Alstead. They were full of building supplies for the workers to use tomorrow. As Percy's firemen uncoupled him, the green tank engine looked around the town. Toby was right, he said to himself. This place does look scary in the dark. Then, just after the firemen checked the brakes on the trucks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let it go again. Percy and his crew were shocked and so scared that they ran away as fast as his wheels could carry him. Next morning, Percy told Toby and Thomas about the ghost. "I heard it. It sounded like a woman singing." "Pah," commented Thomas. "You're the closest thing we've got to a ghost around here, Percy." "We've both heard it now, Thomas," said Toby. "How can you argue with that?" "Right," said Thomas. He had had enough. "I'll show you both. I'll take the building supplies to the town tonight, and I'll show you there's no ghost there." Percy and Toby were delighted to give Thomas that job and wished him luck. Night came. Thomas delivered the trucks and stayed in the town for a while. Thomas looked anxiously around. He didn't want to admit it, but everything did seem rather spooky. "I knew it," Thomas said confidently. "There's nothing scary around here." Quite suddenly, he heard the mysterious singing. "Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon." "It's the ghost!" he wailed. "What ghost?" his driver asked. "It's the singing ghost. She's here." "Don't be so daft. We'll go and investigate." They returned quite soon. "The singing ghost wants to meet you," laughed his fireman. "Can't it wait until morning?" replied Thomas. "Ghosts don't work day shifts," said his driver. Thomas bravely made his way down an old siding and pushed through some bushes. "Well, bust my buffers!" he exclaimed. There in front of him was a little old engine. "This is your ghost, Thomas," said his driver. "What are you doing here?" said the blue tank engine. "Didn't you hear anyone when we were working here?" The engine looked scared. Yes, but if I spoke up, I was worried I'd be scrapped. Then what was all that singing about? Asked his driver. I always sing myself to sleep, said the engine softly. Thomas smiled and promised to fetch help in the morning. Thomas returned to Farquhar, glad that this ghost story was over.